Om Shanti. Let's begin with some moments of reflection. As I sit still and quiet, I gently withdraw my attention from the world around me and bring it to the face of my body. This whole external world and the body is made of 5 elements of nature. It is a physical world. This body is also physical. Now gently remove your attention from the outer world, from the body also. And turn it to your inner space. Your inner space is non-physical, abstract, in the inner space. There are thoughts, feelings, memories, and many scenes and sounds of the outer world projected inside. They are all there. I see them, but I do not engage with them. I move my attention further inside and beneath these layers of thoughts and feelings. There is a core that is absolutely peaceful. This inner core is full of light, soothing white light of peace. I allow my attention to dwell there, and feel the peace, the soothing light that fills my inner space. Just plug in your attention for some time. And feel the peace that lies within. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So we are exploring the fact that only that which we can see can hurt us. Okay, that which you can't see can't hurt you. And we are understanding that it is my attention and perception that decides what I see. If something exists but I don't pay attention to it, then I don't see it. And we use this expression, see but not see. So, see but it's there, the two eyes can see it, but don't pay attention to it. And so that we have the capacity to see but not see, we are practicing how to pay conscious attention to something. So, when you train your faculty of attention to pay attention to and see and feel whatever you want to see and feel. So just like in the meditation we had just now, what we did is we tried to consciously remove our attention from outside and take it inside and feel what's on the inside, so that when you want to remove your attention from something and pay your attention to something else, then you will have the capacity to do that, because you are practicing how to consciously pay attention to something. Until now, paying attention was a very unconscious act. So we did not even know we are paying attention to something. It just happened automatically. But now we are trying to train our faculty of attention and understand that I have the capacity to remove my attention from something and take it to something else. So there are two things about attention. First is having the capacity to pay attention to what you want to, and then second is having the buddhi or the intellect to discern what you should pay attention to. So, because sometimes we are so stone-headed that we choose to pay attention to the wrong things that hurt us, things that make us feel sad or sorry or hurt or miserable. We consciously pay attention to those things. So we need to understand what should we pay attention to, and we need to have that intellect to actually make the right choice to pay attention to that which makes me peaceful and happy and gives me joy and makes me feel loved and content. So that is another story. So understanding and having that intellect to make the right choice, that also we have to train ourselves in. Now, first things first, so what do you pay attention to all day? Just keep checking all day. What am I paying attention to? And don't pay attention to what you're paying attention to, but pay attention to where, just pay attention to your attention. Where is it going? So, don't see what's out there. Just recognize what am I paying attention to. Because the world is not my problem. Where I am paying attention to is my problem. So I need to think about and rethink about the choices I'm making about what I'm paying attention to. And if I'm not making the right choice, if I'm paying attention to something that is not good for me, that is not giving me a good experience of life, then let me try to shift my attention to something else. And I think, as you are proceeding on this journey, increasingly you will feel that you have the power to shift your attention to whatever you want to shift your attention to. So this is one exercise you do all day. Just see where you are paying attention and then ask yourself, is this the right thing to observe? Is this the right thing to pay attention to? And what is it making me feel? And then consciously shift your attention to something else. For example, when you meet somebody, when you have an interaction, there is nobody who has no virtues, only weaknesses and problems. So yes, everybody has some good traits, some bad traits. Do you agree with that? Yes. There is nobody who is totally good or totally bad. Now, what am I choosing to pay attention to? The bad aspects of their personality or the good aspects of their personality? Yes, so let's say somebody is lazy and honest. So am I holding in my awareness they are honest, or am I holding in my awareness they are lazy? Yes, so let me just pay attention to what am I paying attention to. And then consciously, train yourself to pay attention to the good. And even in situations, when you are in a situation, just ask yourself, am I paying attention to the benevolent aspect of this situation, or am I paying attention to the what do you say, that aspect of the situation which is causing me loss? For example, you have a leave. Yes, now are you paying attention to how you could use the leave fruitfully, or are you paying attention to what you are missing out by being on leave? Because that also we do. So just pay attention to where you're paying attention to. And the second thing that I just started yesterday but couldn't finish is, wherever attention goes, energy flows and that thing grows. So when you pay attention to something that you say is not good, you are actually making that not good grow. Yes, you are actually empowering that which you are saying is not good. Yes, for example, if you have an illness in the body and you are paying attention to it, then the law says, wherever attention goes, energy flows and that thing grows. So that illness is growing because of your attention. Yes, just like you water a seed and it turns into a big plant. So anything is a seed. Your attention is the water which makes it grow. Yes, you pay attention to somebody's weakness. Let's say you see there is an employee who is weak, who has some shortcomings, some weaknesses. There is a family member who has some shortcomings, weaknesses. You are paying attention to that. You are making that weakness grow. Yes, so if you are every day, you see, whether you have siblings or parents or children, and you are every day paying attention to what's wrong with them, you are actually making them grow that wrong habit or that wrong aspect of their personality, which according to you is wrong. So this is the law. So beware of where you pay attention to. I will give you a very simple example. So there was this one lady and she said that she runs a boutique, and then there was a fellow competitor, and she also had a boutique some shops away from her boutique. So this lady, she kept telling me that the other one, the competitor, is always defaming her. Okay. So always talking ill about her to the customers. And then I told that, even if somebody is defaming you, you don't pay attention to their defaming you. You pay attention to your work, your quality of work, what you are doing. And then she said, no, I cannot pay attention to that because I keep listening to, whatever she's talking about me in the market. And then that is what fills my awareness all the time. And then I kept telling her, no, you need to focus. You need to focus on what you can do for your betterment. You don't need to focus on what other people are doing to pull you down. So she didn't listen. Of course, she didn't have the capacity to do it. And then what happened is slowly her business started suffering. And then she had to shut down the shop. And then after some time, one of her customers came to me. And then I asked her, just because somebody defamed her, why did you leave her? You were a good customer to her. And then she said, I didn't leave her because somebody else told me something about her. I left her because she was not delivering anything on time. And she was only talking about the other person defaming her. The only conversation, the only activity she was engaged in was how the other person is defaming her. She was not focused on the quality of her work. She was not delivering things on time. So you see, the cause of her downfall was not another person. The cause of her downfall was her own negligence. And when you neglect what you have to pay attention to and pay attention to something that you say you don't want in your life, then you're making a bad choice and you're making that which you say you don't want grow, and that which you say is important for you, you're not paying attention to it and not helping it grow. So this is something that we need to understand and ask yourself, where are you giving your energy? Where are you giving your attention? Are you giving it to areas on which you think you need to focus? And are you paying attention to the qualities that you need to focus on? Sometimes, people say, my children are my priority. And they pay all their attention to their children. They don't pay attention to anything else. But then they pay attention to their children's bad qualities, their children's weaknesses. And then, it is counterproductive. So, where do I have to put my attention? And then, what is it that I'm focusing on? Am I focusing on the good or the bad? So, I don't have to focus on anybody's behavior, anybody's business. I have to focus on my business. But then, am I focusing on the loss in my business, or am I focusing on the strength of my business? So, these are the things that I have to take care of. And for that, you need to train yourself into this ability of consciously paying attention to something. Because if you do not meditate and consciously pay attention to something that you want to in your peace time, then in times when your attention is being pulled by something, you will not be able to pull it away from that and focus on something else. Okay, so this is one thing. Then we talked about perception, and I told you the 4 questions: who am I, who do I belong to, what is going on, and what is my purpose. Now we will talk about training our perception, beginning with who am I, because you think as you are, you speak as you are, you perceive as you are, you experience as you are, you act as you are. Do you understand that? You do everything as you are, and who you are is not important. Who you believe you are is important. Yes, because your sense of who you are overpowers your reality of who you are. Yes, in the Shastras you hear the story where Hanumanji forgot he is Hanumanji. And then he couldn't do anything Hanuman like. Because he is Hanumanji, but he forgot he is Hanumanji. So it doesn't matter who you are. What matters is who you think you are. And when you are in true awareness of who you are, then you can, think correctly, behave correctly, act correctly, and with strength and great capacity. So let us ask ourselves, who am I? So there were some answers and which I received yesterday, but most of the time, you people are trying to give the correct answer. I didn't want the correct answer. I wanted the answer which is true according to you, according to your state of being right now. So, who am I right now? So, when somebody asks you, who are you? How do you introduce yourself? So, the first thing is, today people send their photographs. So, you think that I am what I look like. Yes, and then the physical body, your appearance, you think that's what introduces you. That's who you are, right? That's your first point of introduction. And so let's take this first point of introduction. You are your body. Yes, are you your body? Yes, are you your body? Say yes, right now you are your body. Yes, so you say, I am tall, I am short, I am dark, I am light, I am fair, I am dark, I am, I'm thin, I am fat, I am a male or a female. So the gender of the body, the skin color, the height, weight, these are the things, or I am healthy or unhealthy. So all these things you're talking about the body. But are you the body? That is the question. So let us try to answer this. So when somebody dies, you say they left for heavenly abode. Or these days, you don't want to say they went to heaven. So you say they left the mortal coil. Yes, so and so left the mortal coil and they proceeded further, or they left for heavenly abode. So the body is lying there, then who is they? Who left? Yes, if the body is they, then they are pretty much there. Why do you say they left? Yes, so think about this. Yes, so now second thing is, when somebody gets admitted to a hospital, then the doctor will say, when they are taking the patient to the operation theatre, they would say, bring the patient in. And when there is a death on the operation table, then they would say, take the body out. So who is the patient? The body came in, the body went out. Who is the patient? The patient is gone. So who are you? So you are the soul. Yes, you are the soul, and this body is there, but you are not the body. You have the body. You are not the body. Yes, so there is another way people put it. They say, I am a body, I have a soul. Yes, people say you have a soul, but you don't have a soul. You are a soul, you have a body. Got it? Say, I am a soul, I have a body. I am a soul and I have a body. It's not the other way around. You are not a body having a soul. You are a soul having a body. You are a spiritual entity having a physical experience. You are not a physical entity trying to have a spiritual experience. Okay? You are a spiritual entity, you are a soul in a physical experience. You are not a physical entity trying to have a spiritual experience, because most people, when they try to explore spirituality, they think I am a body, I am physical, but I am trying to have a spiritual experience. But that's not how it works. You are a soul, you are a spiritual entity, you are in a physical experience right now, and you need to just have more clarity that you are actually a spiritual entity. That is the truth. Okay, so who are you? You are the soul. Now, why is it important to understand that you are not the body, you are not sick, you are not fat or thin, you are not tall or short, you are not dark or fair. It is the body. Because you see, there is a day and night difference between saying my body is tall or short and saying I am tall or short. Yes, because if you say, the body is tall or short, doesn't matter. But if you say I am tall or I am short, it is something that you are identifying with. Yes, and then it starts coloring your awareness and your perception of yourself, your self-worth, your sense of self. Yes, so you are not the body, you are separate from the body, but if you start drawing your sense of self, your self-worth, or your identity from the body, then whenever there is something wrong with the physical parameter, it is not just a problem with the physical parameter, it is a problem with my identity, my worth, my very existence. Yes. So let's say, when you say, my head is aching and I am aching, there are two different things, right? So, but when you say that, I am sick, then it's the same thing you're doing. When you say the body is sick, then you are fine, the body is sick, the body is ill. But then when you say I am ill, then who is going to treat you? When the body is ill, you can treat the body. So you have to understand that every little thing in the body is becoming an issue of self-worth or identity, or it is disturbing you deeply because you are associating with the body. Right? So you are not the body. But right now you have been conditioned to believe that for very long. So you will have to recondition yourself. Ever since you're born, everybody is looking at you. So, when a child is born, what do they say? Is it a boy or a girl? So your first identity is your gender. The first word you hear when you're born is boy, girl. So do you understand your gender identity is so huge? And that's why you see your whole perception of everybody is this is a boy, this is a girl. So, you divide the world between two things, boys and girls. And you cannot have the same attitude towards them, because you do not look at yourself as somebody who is not a boy or a girl. You look at yourself as a boy or a girl, so you look at everybody as a boy or a girl. as a man or a woman. Yes, so this is why, the perception is colored by our sense of self. And I have to understand that I am not a male or a female. The body is male or female. And you see, when you think that, I am a female, then there is a list of what you can do and what you can't do, because you've been conditioned to think like that. Is it not? You've been conditioned, you've been made to believe that as a woman you can do all of this, and as a man you can do all of this, and as a woman you can't do this, as a man you can't do this. And then that conditioning is so rigid inside that you cannot break free from the chains of your own conditioning. Yes, let me give you an example of how our conditioning can change us. So, do you know, in a circus there are elephants, and when those elephants are brought into the circus, they are little children, baby elephants. And when they are baby elephants, thick chains, they are put around their legs, and they are chained with those thick chains. And then when they are children, they try to break free of them, and they can't, because they are really big chains. And then they are conditioned to believe that you cannot break the chain. And then when they grow up, have you seen that when they are brought to give a performance, they have a very thin chain, around them. And it's very easy for them to break it, but they never try. Because they have been conditioned to believe this can't break. So, this gender consciousness, this body consciousness, it makes us chained. It makes us believe what you can or can't do, what you deserve and don't deserve, what you're capable of and incapable of. Yes. And then this becomes your limitation. So we have to understand, the first thing is, so there is a very beautiful saying, you cannot change anything with the same consciousness with which it was created. Yes, so our present condition is a creation of body consciousness. So the way we think and feel and behave is all because we think we are a body. And you cannot change the way you think, feel and behave without changing your sense of who you are. That is why you start with this root, with the seed, that who am I? So who you are is not the body, you are not the gender, you are not the physical health, you are not. So do you think that, because of your health you can do or can't do something? No. If you rise above it, you can even solve that health issue. With your willpower, by understanding that you are bigger and more powerful than your health condition, you can even make an impact on your health, on your physical health. So you are not all of this, you are a soul. And then you need to practice this. First you need to think about it. So you don't become a soul when you die, or you are not a soul in movies only. So, there are people who think that ghosts exist in movies and, souls are ghosts, and then they think that when people die, they become souls. But no, you are a soul even when you are in the body. I'll give you one example. So I have a brother, and whenever I try to tell him that he is a soul, he would just laugh at me and go away, and he would say, I don't need your gyan about you are a soul and stuff. And then, he had an employee, and he was running a business, and he had an employee, and that employee committed suicide in his own compound, in his business complex, he committed suicide. And then he was very shattered with that incident, and he told me that I don't feel like going to that place, and I feel afraid going into my business complex now. So I said, what are you afraid of? So he said, the soul will be haunting that place. So I said, but you said there are no souls. You used to tell me, you used to laugh at me that there are no souls and you are just talking rubbish. So then what are you afraid of today? So I said, no, this is not the time to give it back to me. So, you just help me out. So I said, see, when people die, they are all souls and they can haunt you and, do stuff to you. But when they are alive, you don't believe you are a soul, or everybody is a soul. So nobody becomes a soul after death. You are a soul anyway. You just don't believe you are a soul when you're alive. So we need to understand that you are a soul anyway. Now, apart from body consciousness, there are a lot of other consciousness also that we are in. So, you see, your position in the family, whether you are the elder child or the younger child, that is also a big aspect of your consciousness, is it not? Yes, so when you are the elder one, the message you keep getting is you are the bigger one, you are the bigger one, you are the responsible one. And then what do you become? You become big and responsible. And the younger child, even if that younger child is 50 years old, he is still the younger one. And he is the younger one, he doesn't know things, he can make mistakes, and he keeps making mistakes because that is how he is conditioned to be. There was one program I was conducting, and in that event there were twins. They're not twins. There were two children, brothers, and one was 6 years of age and another was 3 years of age. And these two children, they came with their mother and they sat, in the front. And this 3-year-old, he was running around during the event. And the 6-year-old was just observing where he's going, whether he's disturbing, whether he's damaging something. He was keeping an eye on him. And then when the session ended and they came for prasad, then the 6-year-old one, he came and told me, please excuse my brother, he is small. वो छोटा है. And then I asked him, and you? So he says, I am the elder one. So he's just 6-year-old, but he is the elder one. And because he is the elder one, he is responsible. So you see, this sense of who you are impacts how you behave so deeply. And this has an impact of what you think you're capable of doing, or how you behave, or how you speak, how you conduct yourself, is all coming from your sense of self. Yes. And then people have lots of other sense of self. I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a boss, I'm an employee, according to the roles you perform, yes, or the relationships you're in. So there is body consciousness, there is role consciousness, there is relationship consciousness, there is the consciousness of being elder or younger. So all these consciousness are there, and they are impacting the way you think and feel, the way you conduct and behave yourself. So this is the present condition that we are in. And let me also give you an example of how shift in consciousness works. So there was a doctor, and he is an experienced doctor. He has been performing surgeries and operations for very long. And then one day when he enters the operation theatre, he sees that his own son is lying on the table. And then he can't perform an operation. Can he? No, his hands start shaking. Why? Because when he sees the sun, his consciousness has shifted from I am a doctor to I am a father. And then all the qualities of the father will emerge, and all the qualities and capacities of the doctor will merge. So this is how consciousness works, you know. Consciousness is your sense of self. I am dash, that is your consciousness. When you say I am tired, you are tired. When you say I am a parent, you are a superhuman, right? You can do everything, because that is your consciousness. A parent is responsible, so they can do everything. When you say, you know, I am weak and I can't do, you can't do. So I am dash is your consciousness, and your consciousness is responsible for how you think, how you feel, what you're capable of, how you act. All right. So today again think deeply about what is your consciousness. Yes, some people are in victim consciousness, some people are in ego, you know, I am the high and mighty and everybody must bow down to me. Some people are in some other consciousness, and they see the world and they see themselves according to the filter of their own consciousness. So you have to check what is your consciousness and look at how it keeps shifting through the day. Yes, and then your capacities also keep shifting through the day. Your qualities also keep shifting through the day, because they are associated with your consciousness. So let's say you are with your employee, then how are you? You're very strict, very straight, very clear. Why? Because your consciousness is I am the boss. When you're with the boss, how are you? Very timid, very obedient, because that is your consciousness that I am an employee. So an employee should be like this. So all of those qualities will emerge. So this is how consciousness works. Now what is true consciousness? True consciousness is you are a soul. And tomorrow we will understand what are the implications of thinking and believing you are a soul, because we know what it means to be a man, we know what it means to be a woman, we know what it means to be a boss, we know what it means to be a sister or a brother, but we don't know what it means to be a soul. Do you know that? Yes. If you are a soul, what are your qualities as a soul? What is your attitude towards everything as a soul? Whether you the soul die or are eternal, or what are you capable of or incapable of, that we need to understand, and then condition ourselves into true consciousness. Because you see, although I am a soul, right now I have come very far down into this body consciousness, and then I have to climb uphill again and go back to who I really am. Okay, so tomorrow we will understand what soul consciousness means and what are the implications of being, knowing and believing that you are a soul. But today we understood who I am not, yes, and who I am, but what it implies to be a soul, we will get to that tomorrow. Now there is a question that there are people around me who don't take me seriously, and I feel that they always make me feel that I am good for nothing, and I have also started feeling like that. So what do I do about it? Yes, so you see, this is what we are discussing. When other people look at you in a certain way and you don't know who you are, then what do? You take those messages and internalize them, right? But if you know who you are, then whatever other people are telling you will not have an impact. So in order for something that you're not to not have an impact on you, you need to know who you really are. And let me, so the person who is writing this, just ask yourself, what are your qualities? People are telling you're good for nothing, people are saying you're incapable, okay. But look deep inside and try to discern what are your qualities. And then keep telling that to yourself. And when you keep telling yourself that repeatedly, then the sound of that will overpower the sound of other people who are telling you you are good for nothing. Yes, so you need to discern who you are. I will tell you one thing. There was one event I was conducting for teenagers, and there was one brother, little boy, 14 years of age. He used to come 5 minutes early for the program every day. And then after some days, I asked every child, every teenager, what is your quality? Tell me about one quality that you have. And then somebody said, you know, I am disciplined, I am punctual, I am this, that, and the other. And then somebody else said, you know, then this brother, this one who used to come 5 minutes early, I asked him, what is your quality? And then he said, I don't have any quality. I am basically, you know, I have only bad qualities. And then I told him, but you come 5 minutes early every day, so you're punctual. So he said, no, I don't come early. My mother pushes me. She throws me into the car. She pulls me up to here, and then she pushes me again, and then she makes me sit in the class. And so I come 5 minutes early. I'm not punctual. So then I said, then you're honest, because you had the guts to admit that. And then, you know, he thought about it, and then he said, yes, I'm honest. I have never lied. And throughout the whole session, he was smiling. And he said, I'm honest. I never knew this. I am honest. And he was so happy discovering one quality in himself. And you see, all our life we listen to, you know, whatever other people are telling us, and mostly because people speak as they are. So they are weak, so they speak about your weakness. And then you internalize it, and you also start believing there are only weaknesses in me. Yes, but now we have to understand that nobody is all good or all bad. I must be having some qualities. So let me discern my quality, and let me tell myself that I am good for this. And even if somebody says you're good for nothing, you reinforce what you're good for and good at. And that is the service that you have to do for yourself. So this is there. Okay, I cannot switch attention from one thing to another. You cannot do it if you don't see. If you have to go on a war, yes, and you have to practice your weapons, will you practice them in wartime? No. You will practice them in peacetime when there is no war, right? So meditation is conducted in peacetime, and application is done in wartime. So when you are at war, you know, you are on the Kurukshetra, Karamkshetra, on the field of action. At that time, you will apply your ability to switch attention. You cannot practice there. Where do you practice? When you sit in meditation, and I give you the commentary, gently unplug from outside, go inside, just try to see what's inside, delve on it, dwell on it. So that is where you practice. And the more you practice in peacetime, in the Karamkshetra, Kurukshetra, you will be able to apply this practice. Okay, so this is what you need to do to hone the ability to switch attention. I am feeling very nervous when I see the person. He always poses negative shades of mine. Yes, so you have to, so you don't be afraid of that person, because you know, when you are afraid of somebody, So, your fears will run after you. When you are afraid of somebody, they will try even harder to do that to you, because they know you are afraid of it. Yes, so what you do is, you don't get afraid. In peacetime, you try telling yourself what are your positive shades. And when they are speaking to you about your negativity, you reinforce your positivity. You don't try to argue with them. You argue with yourself, because it's not what they are saying. It's the inner commentary that you are creating in response to what they said. That is your problem. And you don't start that inner commentary. Instead, you keep telling yourself how good you are, and then you don't take what they are telling you. Yes, and I will tell you one thing: never in the world, there are many people who think that a certain number of people should agree with or validate or acknowledge who they are. Yes, it could be one person, two people. Some people think 50,000 people are required for validation. Some think, the whole world must validate who am I. So everybody has an idea of how much validation you want. But let me tell you, you will not get the validation you are seeking. So the only answer to this problem of seeking validation is validate yourself. Keep telling yourself that I am good enough. Keep telling yourself that I am fine. And ask yourself if there is something inside you that is not, that is causing you to believe that no, this is not true. Then finish that. Let's say somebody says you're lazy, and you try telling yourself, I'm not lazy, I'm just very hardworking. And then your heart laughs at you and says, no, no, but you're lazy, that's true. Then, first become hardworking and then tell yourself, I'm hardworking. Yes, but don't do it in reaction. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Tell yourself that I am hardworking. I want to say this to myself. So I work hard and tell myself I'm hardworking. Okay, so this is how it changes. There is another question about how to sort out victim consciousness. So this whole series is about that only. Shifting consciousness. So consciousness shift. Tomorrow we will understand what is soul consciousness. We will understand, and soul consciousness is the answer to shifting all other consciousness, because you have to instill something to take out something. So you want to remove the weak consciousness, you have to instill the right consciousness. Okay, Om Shanti. Let's meditate for some time. I sit in the awareness that this body and the whole world around me is physical. Everything that I see with the two eyes is made of 5 elements of nature. Now gently remove your attention from all that the two eyes can see. And take it to your inner space. Into your mind space. And look at your mind space like a detached observer. Like somebody who is standing on the side and observing. There are thoughts, feelings, memories, events, sounds of the outer world projected inside. Just see them, don't engage. Then take your attention further within. Deeper inside. Crossing the layers of the mind. And in the deep inner space, there is nothing, just peace. The white light of peace. The soothing vibrations of peace. Just allow your attention to dwell there and feel the peace.
एक